internally.
Is the grant state
Do you
or
know?
county?
I think
This
the
is
funds are available, it's just a matter of taking Rob and Peter to pay Paul.
Well, but are they state funds?
Do you know the name of
Oh.
the granting
Yeah,
agency?
where's the grant coming from?
Well, I don't know, we'll probably settle it tomorrow to see just, how we can do it, but I think Harlan's gonna have to sign off on it to make sure that.
Okay.
I think, well,
This
the
is
loan was
one
from the
that
county.
Is it county? Is
got
it
the
county
grant.
grant? Not a loan.
Yes.
The loan was from the county.
Well, that's
The
what,
loans,
okay, that's all I
But
know.
it might be state money. All I'm saying is it's pretty obvious the state hasn't passed the budget.
Right. So this could be a longer term loan than just a 2-week turnaround. for
But
the
we haven't
reimbursement.
really been asked
The
yet,
the
so.
loan is from the county, yeah, so it's just a matter of, the first payment to the contractor, and, then we will get reimbursed by the county for that first loan, so.
I know how,
They should have enough money to pay the contractor for his work.
I know Harlan's position that is that it's better to do it internally at the authority so long as
Keep
the,
it in-house,
auditor-
between the sewer
Yeah,
and
as
the
long as the
water.
auditor okays it.
Good.
It'd be pretty complicated for us to do it.
Good.
All right. We don't need to vote on that, we'll just
Nothing.
Tell
We
them
we
that
haven't
they-
been asked.
There's no formal.
no request, so,
So nothing on it.
okay. So, discussion of Michael Trapezono plan of lots number 4.
This
Go ahead.
came, would you want me to?
Go ahead.
This came, Louis Trapezono submitted a plan. Louis and Michael are brothers, and they're, have a house and a garage on Glen Mitchell Road. They submitted a plan in the spring that was approved, and that was to change lot lines to separate, the garage is attached to this house, and they wanted to separate the garage from this house and attach the garage to this house that's up on the hill. And that, they worked with the planning commission and found a solution to do that. The trouble is, here's the lot line, and there's a portion of the garage that's on the next, the neighbor's yard. So what they had to do was to adjust these lot lines is they had, from his neighbor, he had to get a sufficient bump out on this side so he would have the proper clearance for there. And then up here, they swapped another corner so that it was just kind of an even swap of acreage, small amounts of land. That plan was submitted and approved, but it was never signed off on by this property owner over here. So it didn't get recorded, so it kind of doesn't count. It expired. And so we told them they had to resubmit. And when they resubmitted, they came back with a different plan that just didn't change this. This is still over here. And there was an easement recorded, but that doesn't fix a zoning problem. And so it allows access to that corner of the building, but you can't change subdivision lines while you have a non-conforming structure.
Right.
So this was reviewed, and they were told that this plan as submitted does not work. And so they were recommended to go back to the one that was approved in the spring, resubmit that one. But right now, all we have in front of us is the plan that does not correct the problem. And so the planning commission voted to recommend that the board deny this plan as submitted because it can't be approved. So that's what you have.
Okay.
And they know they're
They
going to
know,
look.
they know that this didn't pass, or, didn't make it past the planning commission, and that the board is going to officially.
So,
Deny this.
a motion. or-
Next week, I'll put
Next
it on
week.
the agenda and a motion for you guys to formally deny, reject the application.
Okay,
Would you ask the planning commission help with the preparation of
You just talked about it.
The motion?
the motion?
Oh, yeah, Harlan will get the wording right.
now that John is here, we can tell him, you deal with it.
You know what?
Gonna borrow money.
Oh, okay.
Internally. We don't want to hear about it.
All right.
Okay,
But thanks for coming.
so you can stay for the rest of the entertainment if you like. Do you have anything further that you wanted to add to that, John?
I didn't know whether you were discussing the supplying the water information to Swickley concerning.
We haven't
You haven't
discussed,
got to that yet?
haven't,
It's not on the agenda.
is that,
It's not.
But that would
Working on a
be
number.
good new business.
Sure.
Okay, well, I'll wait.
Okay. Discussion of KLH invoice for condemnation mapping, excuse me.
Okay, this invoice was, I think it's from October, and that was, we still have the condemnation cases that are outstanding. The Board of Reviewers is coming next month to do the walkthrough to check on the properties that still need to be resolved. And Harlan needed a large map for the Board of Reviewers with certain requirements on it that showed the line, showed the locations of the sewers, the lot lines, the owners. There's something called a V number, it's a viewer number on this map. So he, ordered it from KLH because KLH has all that mapping. So this is just the invoice for that, for the viewers exhibit. The reason it's different than just being on the bill list is because we have a small amount left over in the original bond Wells Fargo account. And this can be taken out of that account because it's an allowable use, and that will bring that account down very close to being empty. So it's actually a good size invoice and a good amount to use to pay from that account so that it can drain that account and we can close it out. So it'll be, what it is a pay request to the Wells Fargo, just like we paid for all our sewer construction bills. That's why it's different, and it takes a separate motion than just
What is the amount of the invoice?
$1,400. So that's why the structure is different than just being on the bill list. We want to take it from that other account.
And from memory, the balance in that account is what was left after we prepaid
Right.
on the debt refinance.
So I can have it on the agenda for next week, just for the official motion. Okay.
Okay. Here's the big one. Discussion of commission vacancy. If you wait another week, I won't have to worry about it. You want to take action before the end of the year? You want to let it ride until next year? Technically, we're supposed to take action within 30 days of the vacancy.
No, I think there's no reason not to start. And the comment here is simply that I think that the 4 existing commissioners and anybody else, it's best to decide what we need and what we want. What are we looking for? What would be in the best interest of the township? And then once we agree upon that, what's the procedure we would like to use? Because to the best of my knowledge, we have 3 interested candidates, none of them formalized. So I've never been through this before, but I think first of all, what would be good for the township? We're looking for an engineer, an attorney, a nice guy, a nice woman, that sort of thing. And then once we agree upon that, what procedure would we like to use to select amongst the interested parties? That's my 2 cents.
My only thought immediately would be that I don't think we need a specialist. I think we need somebody who's had experience in either school board activities or township considerations. That would be a big boon if we had somebody with the experience.
So are we privy to the names of the interested people?
Yeah, Matt had sent out an email to quite a few people. I don't know how many are on your list now. And we got one immediate, Judy Haluka. Dan Darrow was number 2. And then Masonic has Mike Glenn as a potential candidate. And
He has experience on the Swickley board.
On the what?
The Swickley board.
so I guess one of the things is, do we need to advertise this vacancy and the fact that we're looking for somebody more?
Again, I'd say that if we have somebody who's already interested, who has the experience and qualifications we see as necessary, I think we could just go ahead. But I'll recognize Charlotte
I know it's not time for citizen participation, but I would like to have you suggest and think about the fact of appointing Joanne to the 4-year term
Oh.
because of the mix-up over the primary election thing. She was written in for a 2-year term. She actually should have had the 4-year term nomination. and
Tony should have been
Tony should have had the completion of the
Doesn't
2-year
matter to
term.
me.
But I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that when you're appointing to fill a vacancy.
No, it doesn't have anything to appoint.
2
I don't
years.
know that makes a difference.
Well, I don't know,
I
but
don't
I'm
know.
just thinking in the terms of fairness. This would be the thing to do.
But
I
I'm pretty
should
sure
have
this
been a
appointment is
4-year
for
term.
2 years.
It
Yeah,
has to be only,
This is only
since
for 2 years.
since it's an appointment, it's only till the next election.
to the next election, right? To the next municipal
Well,
election.
that's answered my question then.
Okay.
Well, I think we should ask the 3 formal candidates that we have the 3 candidates that we have for formal submissions.
Sure.
I think an expression of interest, why I want to be commissioner, a brief resume,
Bio, a little bio.
and then my personal opinion is followed by interviews.
I would say an
Public
interview
interviews.
is appropriate.
Pardon me, Joanne?
I think an interview is appropriate.
I think it would be good
What about timing?
ASAP. My thought was who should notify the 3 interested candidates that we,
I don't think it's gonna happen in this year. I can't imagine. I mean, Christmas is a week and a half away. Of course, I
So-
guess it could happen in between Christmas and New Year.
well, I think we could get the formal submissions.
Yeah,
We
that
could put a
stuff
deadline.
could go, yeah.
Were you gonna say it should come from Gwen?
I think it should come.
So do I. So if you just prepared, well, let's go back one step. Do we need to search further?
I mean, I think that between, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I think that between our email distribution list and Masonic Village, I think that we've covered a huge portion of the township, and I would be surprised to hear that we're going to send out a letter and get some.
What, you're talking about a letter to just what, to request
Well,
Well,
interest?
Joanne, we've always
Oh, I
tried.
thought you were talking about a letter to invite.
No, he said, let's take a step back.
Everybody, okay.
What
Should
I'm
we send a
wondering,
letter and
Joanne,
say-
we always come up with an
Yeah,
issue.
yeah, and
that
I think that I
It's
do
Masonic
like that.
Village or Swickley Heights Manor and others get
Right,
left
and we
behind.
don't have representation from the community at large.
Well-
Do I think there's anybody there? I don't know. My guess is probably not, but I don't know.
We had a vacancy several years ago, not the most recent one, I don't think. We were looking for interest and we did a postcard mailing to all the
That's fine, yeah.
houses. But that was
That
before
would be a quick,
everything. Yeah, it was
easy
before
way.
we had a way to reach a large segment of the people.
Yeah, we know that we can't, now I think it's one thing to informally talk to people. I think when you get to more formal things, we know we're not reaching everybody via email.
You're not.
And the people that we're not are the people that get upset about things. So
What about an article in the Herald? Or not an article, but
an ad, you want to buy an ad? And you don't want to buy one of those crummy ads in the back that nobody reads.
You'd be surprised who reads those. I get questions about those.
I think the postcard is a good idea.
That'll take, to do that, I don't know that I could get it.
Before.
In the mail before they.
yeah, I was thinking.
Then
of the
it wouldn't be
timing.
in the mail, Friday at the absolute earliest, so
We've
it
had
was
luck with a
printed.
postcard, haven't we? Did get some response. Seems like we got.
We
some
did,
responses.
we did get a response, I did get 2 candidates from that postcard mailing. But at that time, I think it was 2008, 7 or 8. But I wouldn't get, there's no way I would get that out and responses into, that would definitely push it to January, and that's whatever you want. If
What
you,
about the Herald?
people read the back of the Herald sometimes, they talk to
What's
other
in the
people.
back of the Herald?
The ads, the legal ads.
Oh, nobody. Like
You don't
people
think that
read
they would put a paragraph in as,
Out of the goodness of their heart? No. It's not, it's just not, doesn't have any sizzle.
All right.
But you could buy, I mean, you could buy a
Little
little
box set.
quarter-page ad for not too much money.
And like in the text versus in the back is what you're saying. The
Yeah,
body of the paper, sure.
They're more expensive than you think they are, but you can get a little one.
Sally, the Manor newsletter, when's the next publication?
no, it's not what you, you're not, that's not gonna solve your,
No, I was thinking of multiple. All right, fine.
Well, you could, my suggestion, and I don't know how many people visit the township site, but just as a matter of form, you should have it on
Right.
the website.
Put it on the front page of the website, sure. Or you
Good.
just give, what deadline would you like me to put for a response?
well, are we gonna put something in the Herald? Or are we gonna send out a postcard?
Put something in the Herald. I would have to get it in by this Thursday. It wouldn't run until next Thursday.
I think the Herald. Because it's not critical, but it would be a good thing to have 5 commissioners because the November meetings couldn't occur because we didn't have a quorum. That's part of my concern. Because I'm going to be absent.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Let's get it into
Is
the
that the
Herald.
quickest way you
So
think
get it
is
into
the
like
Herald?
a Herald
Yeah.
in the text section, not in the back. So an ad, buy a ad on the bottom of a page of articles. Okay.
And I think between word of mouth, which is generally how these things occur, the emails and the Herald, I think we can feel
We could do
comfortable.
robocalls.
I think that we could feel comfortable that we have made an effort. I would feel comfortable we have made an effort.
Yeah.
What deadline would you like me to use for the ad? It's going to run on the 24th. If I can get it in, if I should be able to get it into run on the 24th.
One day before the next workshop meeting.
Brings us to another topic. That we have 3 meetings next month, so I want to get everybody
Okay, well, let's,
refreshed on that.
one day before the workshop meeting in
We have
January
the
would be
swearing
my,
in meeting.
I don't know how to- Yeah, I want to just look on my phone, see what that date is. 11th. So I would need it, how about Friday, January 8th? That's the Friday before the meeting.
for submission of a
A
formal
letter, interest form,
letter of
letter of
interest. So the 3 that we already know, plus anybody else that comes, submission of interest by the 8th. That way we can discuss at the workshop. And they should probably be notified that they can anticipate an open interview at the January legislative meeting.
You wouldn't do that at the meeting, would you, the interview?
I don't care.
With,
I think it'd take 15 minutes, 5 minutes apiece.
during the meeting? Or
think you
before
We've
the
never,
meeting?
we've
Or what?
never interviewed people in the past, but it's up to you.
Well, you'll
Just reviewed letters and acted based on the letters we received.
I don't think,
I mean, I don't object, it just seems
I
like
think
it's
you
a
have to.
little
I don't
bit
think-
uncomfortable maybe for people.
I don't think you can have an interview
With just us,
with just us.
okay.
I think that would
Because
violate the
this is a
Sunshine Act.
position
Right,
at large.
yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah, Harlan gave an opinion by email. None of this can occur in executive session and be a violation of the
And
Sunshine.
more important than that, I can't, I just need to say that I think that deciding who is gonna run the township or who are gonna be commissioners is something that just fundamentally should be open to public
well,
scrutiny.
I agree. I mean,
Good.
I think that makes sense if that's
Good.
what you want to do.
All right, so official submissions by the 8th. Be prepared for an interview at the legislative meeting on whatever that is, the 18th.
Yes.
And I think we could make a decision virtually that night, if we have a proper candidate.
Okay.
Okay.
Did that need to be a motion?
No.
Okay.
Do we need a motion to authorize? Buying the ad.
Thank you.
All right, so I move that we buy an ad in the Weekly Herald to publicize this.
I second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. SWOT analysis.
We're gonna defer that until sometime when we're not all itching to get out of here.
It's okay by me.
Excuse me, would that be appropriate to start by email?
No.
Okay, well,
Unfinished business.
I want to bring up the signage on McCoy. Now, I just noticed the other night, I'm not driving yet, so I was a passenger. It looks very good.
It's very bright.
Yeah, the initial
Can't
sign.
miss
Now,
it.
did we do another one at the end?
At the end, we didn't do anything new at the end, because if you make it to the end, you'll see South McCoy is very large, larger than most
Right.
street signs, and there's an arrow. So if you make it all the way to the end, you're not gonna miss South McCoy with a big arrow.
Okay.
So we didn't add anything there, but we
Okay.
did add
I
that
just didn't know if we
neon
had talked about-
road sign
Right.
at the entrance. So I mean, it's bright.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. The brightest green
I
you've
think it
ever
looks
seen.
awful, frankly.
Did you
I
see
mean-
it?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's bright.
I think it's,
It is not
would you say?
appealing. It is not appealing,
I
but it is,
mean, listen, if this is what makes, if
Makes
this is
them
what solves the
happy.
problem and makes people happy, then what do I care? But aesthetically, I think it's, I'm surprised that that's what they want.
Nobody's called you about it?
no one is called to either praise or condemn.
I wasn't offended by it, but it is bright.
It is-
The problem still is that people don't put south on letters, and I mean, I just got my neighbor's mail again. I mean, it's just, and it's not, it's the person sending it. They just put McCoy Place, so it's not the mail people's fault.
No,
Although it's the same person, they should probably guess. But we can't hold them to that, I guess. But anyway,
So
I
it's
think
there,
that
and
we
you think
met what was asked for, and we'll see. You don't live there.
I don't.
Matt, so it doesn't matter.
What did I say? I said, I don't care. I don't care. I'm surprised that that's what people want.
They want a big sign,
A big, ugly sign.
big ugly sign.
Gwen and Kim, I kind of noticed that under unfinished business, we were trying to enact the action points, et cetera. There's nothing listed under unfinished business.
Oh, I usually put that on the legislative
That's fine,
agenda.
that's what I thought.
Okay, yeah, that will be on the legislative.
Because the pensions, the industrial.
Yeah, I have some
blah, blah,
topics
blah.
for that. Mhm.
And recognizing a lot of things are going to be deferred because it's going to be a busy time.
Yeah, sometimes they'll just keep appearing and.
Good.
Sorry.
New business.
I have one thing, and that is just to get it on everyone's calendar that we have an extra meeting in January. We have a reorganization meeting that is required to be the first Monday after in New Year. So that is January 4th. The meeting starts at 7 PM. We have, the agenda is usually just reappointing all of the things. All of the newspapers, banks, reappoint the different representatives to the different boards and commissions, the letters of interest that went out. Are you still interested in serving on the planning commission? We do those reappointments. Then, board reorganize, so you
Do
elect
we,
a president, you
Get
vice
to
president.
reappoint you?
I don't get reappointed because I am an ordinance creation, but Kim gets appointed because the township secretary is in the township code. But
Okay.
mine just exists.
Who are the other appointments?
There'll be two on the planning
Bank, the
commission,
newspaper.
the bank, the newspaper, two on the planning commission, one on the zoning hearing board, one on the water authority. Those are the main services. And then you all will reorganize into, president, vice president. And then you can shift committee interests, like your specialties. If Matt, you're done with COG, you can share that with somebody
You
else.
have
Not
no
letting
idea.
you- not
You have
getting
no
off like
idea.
that.
This date is circled on my calendar in red.
Vacancy board?
Vacancy board is also on. Mhm.
I
So-
don't think so, Matt.
All people who are interested in being reappointed, send me a note. So it's usually just business. You have, and Magistrate Ford will be here at 7 o'clock on the dot because he's hopping from place to place to appoint the newly elected people,
Swear
swear them
in.
in. So that will be Joanne and Art at this point. We won't have a new commissioner at that point. He or she will go down and get sworn in on their own. But that will happen right at 7, so you need to be here at 7. And then Harlan will open the meeting because you won't have a president yet because that has to happen once the meeting is open. You will choose your president. So that'll be one of the first things on the meeting. You can combine that with a workshop if you didn't want to meet 3 weeks in a row. If you wanted to keep 3 things separate, that's okay too. It's up to how you want to do it. If you want to run an ad that says we're going to talk about something at the workshop on the 11th, though, you need to have the workshop on the 11th, you know. Up to you.
I think we have enough to do that we should have 3 meetings.
Yep. Because we just eliminated, 3 meetings.
Does that, would you have to get out? Is that a problem for you?
I have to get out.
Getting out and about?
Driving,
No, I'll be driving by then.
Okay, so we have
By
3 in a
next
row.
week, I think.
First, second, and third Monday in January, we'll have
So the
meetings.
4th, 11th, and 18th.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you'll send an email.
Well, do we need, so do we need to
to
talk in advance about the positions that we're gonna need to fill? Are we gonna have vacancies that we need to be thinking about?
sounds like it.
The 2 members of the planning commission have indicated they want to re-up on their spots. And if my recommendation means anything, I would like them to continue. They are both very contributing members of the planning commission.
Good.
The zoning hearing board
Who
member,
are they?
Bill Davis Senior and Tom Moore.
Okay.
And the zoning hearing board chairman, Bruno Russo, is up. And he has served on it for years and would like to re-up, so that's good. The only, I need to hear about the vacancy board position, and I need to hear about that. And I need to hear about the authority board position. I have not yet received word or letter or anything about what he's decided.
Well,
on
let's
that.
tick one of them off easily. Can we informally, do we know where we stand on the vacancy
I
board?
just sent you an email.
Are you going to continue?
Me?
Yeah.
Excellent. So that, I'm only waiting to hear the authority then.
Okay,
And I don't know, he said he would, I had a deadline of December 23rd, I believe, when we sent out the letters expressing interest, and he said he would get me his answer then.
and then I heard something about our treasurer today as well.
Right, yeah,
Yep.
now that's another, we forgot
Ooh,
about
should we
Shar.
put that in the same ad?
What are we gonna do with that?
Put that in the.
Put it in the same ad.
And could you send that out on
Well,
email?
the tax collector is elected, so.
She's gone Friday.
Tax collector is the elected position, so that needs to be appointed. Here, we combine the treasurer and tax collector into one position because the tax collector duties are assigned to the various agencies that we use to collect the taxes. So we have that person who's elected to be the treasurer as well, so they can still handle some of the finances.
So you could.
You
put
would be
that-
appointing someone as the tax collector, but then having them also be the
Should
treasurer.
we put that out by email?
I'm happy, well, I mean, it'll be in the digest, so.
And should we add it to the Swickley
To
thing?
the winner. Or
Aleppo
the ad.
Township seeking commissioner and tax collector.
I am replaceable.
But
I'm
tax-
gonna
I
put
mean,
tax
what-
collector / treasurer.
Treasurer, that's what we really need.
That's what
is
we
a
really
treasurer,
need
right?
it for, the
Yep.
official, yeah.
And
But they don't collect taxes, because we have agencies that do all
And
that.
Margaret, could you tell us what you believe the talents that are required to do that job effectively?
Me?
Yes,
Charlotte.
Charlotte, I'm sorry.
It's all right, my sister is Margaret.
Okay, that's probably what I was talking about.
Some
called you Margaret
computer-
twice.
Some computer knowledge, only to keep track of financials and so on and so forth. The ability to come and sign checks, the ability to take them to the bank, reconciling the checking accounts at the end of the month.
So how many hours a month would you think that entails?
I probably think, well, you have to come over and sign checks, and of course, that always takes some social time.
no pay.
I would say probably 6 to 8 hours.
A month?
And it's well paid too.
Oh, it's extremely well paid.
Is the salary good?
It's a salary, it's $100 a month, plus all the taxes.
The deductions are fantastic.
And your attendance is only required at the legislative meeting?
But I think I think it's important to do both, to have an idea of what you all doing.
Okay. Thank you. Charlotte.
Okay,
I'll add that to the ad.
are we through with that? Going down to new business or citizen participate? Let's put it under that. Go ahead, John.
I believe there will probably be a vacancy on the authority board.
Tom?
That's the way I feel. We need it.
Losing two big pieces. So I ask you the same question. For the authority board, do we need a financial person, a business person, an attorney?
I think a financial person
Financial, to replace Tom, yeah.
would be very
Okay.
highest order.
Do we want to just keep adding?
That, I mean, that ad was covered in the ad that ran in the back, but they don't.
Well, wait a minute now. I mean, if we are, seriously, if we need to fill all these positions, then the ad should be all this stuff. We should be
Yep.
putting all this stuff in the ad.
Put it in. Are we
We run
sure?
an ad every year for all those positions, the vacancy
Okay.
board and all that, it runs every year.
Good.
Yeah, but you're
But-
talking about one of those legal ads in the back, and I know I know that there are people, there are creepers out there that read those. That's a computer term, right? That's not, don't anybody get offended by that.
Some people read obituaries too.
That's right. I'm saying though, my mantra is communicate as if you actually want people to hear what you're saying. And I don't think that those ads in the back are
I
effective
agree.
to generally reach out to people.
But are we sure that we haven't received
I haven't
official
received a
notice
letter,
that Tom
so-
is not,
No,
I-
he's told me, and I've talked to him numerous times about it.
but I think we'd better make certain through Gwen
Yes.
before we start throwing them out.
You only have till Thursday, so. if
I'd
you
run the
want
ads,
them,
I
she's
just-
gotta put
Can you
the
call
ad
him?
But
in.
it's Thursday.
Thursday.
I've spoken to him every time he's been in, and he
Could you
has,
call him? Because I'd hate
Has he given you anything?
he said he's thinking about
to run an ad and then he's re-upping.
it. Well, it doesn't hurt in the ad.
Well, she can respond.
Yeah,
He can
He is-
respond.
He's the applicant.
What's
Yeah,
that?
it might depend on who you appoint as,
I just thought it'd be best to make sure he's not re-upping.
No, I understand that, but even if you run the ad
You're
and he
right.
decides to come back, then you
Good.
just say to the people, well, thanks for your
He
interest.
can respond to the ad. Okay, good.
Okay, I'll add that to the ad too.
We can fill you in somewhere else if you're interested in
Like we're gonna do to Rudd.
What are you doing to me? I have no financial ability whatsoever.
All right. Were you going to talk about anything else, John?
Only the response to Swickley's request for data, meter malfunction period. We provided our engineer with some additional data, and he's still not totally happy with that, so we're still in the state of reviewing.
Gwen has been kind enough to give me all that data.
Right.
And as you know, we've suggested that we should not submit that data until we are absolutely certain of it
Right.
and can answer any incongruities.
We're not,
Good.
so that's where we are.
And then we're gonna divide by 2.
Okay.
I move to adjourn.
I second.
Hey, we
All in
didn't do-
favor, signify by saying aye.
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 We didn't do too badly.